What's up, everybody? It's Dan from the Fundamentals with another unboxing. We're looking at Queen by Midnight, one of the new games from Critical Role's Darrington Press. From their producer, it's his very first game. From designer Kyle Shire. It's based around, I believe it's tied to one of the places in Critical Role, but you don't really need to know it to play it. Kind of a battle game with your cards. Everyone trying to figure out who's going to be the queen of the timeline of Midnight. So let's take a little look inside. It's a big game. This is a hefty game, and as you'd expect from Critical Role and Darrington Press, it's a very lovely game. The Midnight Queen is dead as her kingdom weeps. The issue of her succession is paramount to the shock of the realm. The Queen's dying wish was to invoke the rule by midnight, a 24-hour trial of combat and guile, where the princess with 12 foal are summoned to court to battle one another. The stroke of midnight, the most powerful princess left standing will be crowned the new queen. Yes, this was a big Gen Con release for them. Something that I think is really going to be a big thing for them because it's very expandable, very interesting. So let's take a look at the princesses themselves, who are distinctly quite different. By the way, if you want to learn a little bit more about the development process of this, I will link my interview, my chat with the designer, Kyle, in the description. He's a really cool guy, big burly man who cried when people told him how much he loved the game. But here we have Rosalind. Let's see if we get it better. There we go. Rosalind the Oneiromancer. On her back, you can see this is the layout for them. It tells you how their gameplay works. She can see the future. She has strong defensive capabilities, prophecy tokens, good in the late game, but takes her a while to get there, and she's vulnerable. So not an easy one if you're new. Hephaestus the Lightbringer, Lightbreaker, I should say. I like her. She's got kind of an Elsa vibe. Freya, Blood of the Tower, I like her. She's basically if Rapunzel were buff and a vampire, so basically everything that I want in a woman. Eridine, the Gilded Champion, who's essentially Mulan. Boss No, Hand of the Seven, who I believe is some sort of mob boss. Dr. Lux, the Scholar Supreme. I like her look. So going in closer. So the one thing that this game has that I can't really put together right now, but I will take a picture of when I do, is it has this clock, the clock tower. Some versions of the game have a wooden one, a balsa wood one. This is cardboard, but it's still a really cool piece of work. That's a moving clock. There's so many little pieces in this. You can see these are the trackers and the pieces for it that you use to keep track of your points and your prestige, your clout, all that kind of stuff. This is the sort of the board itself. You can see the setup for the clock. Cool thing is it's got this really cool spinning mechanic because the clock has to be able to move. So that's a cool thing. And so while the main board is, the main clock is cardboard, it has the spinning mechanics, the gears are wood, probably because it's hard to keep cardboard in working order for a long period of time. And the clock, once it's constructed, goes right in here, which is really cool. Now, we can look, we can see we've got some lovely blue dice. Our control markers, we've got some things to help the clock spin. We've got our pawns. And then here we have the ultimate. So the characters each have their own sort of ultimate ability that they can do. Blot out the moon. Glorious charge. The beast. Dream dragon. Cruelty of the curls, and fairest of them all. And we have some more cards here. And these represent, obviously, the princesses in different ways around the board. Right forward there. We have, I believe these are sort of visual representations of the ultimates, I believe, that go in your war chest. And the art is, as you would expect, absolutely gorgeous. Zero notes on that. This game is a visual feast. I really can't say more than that. Can't overstate that more. The Darrington Press, whether it be a board game, a tabletop RPG, everything has a level of work and love that is hard to find in a lot of board games, even from big companies. So they're really making a big splash in the market with this stuff. And so here's some more attacks you can kind of purchase. Iron Will, Extortion, different things. Parlor Tricks, Heel Stomp. You can see they're tied to different characters in some ways. The top here tells you when they show up in the bazaar. So these show up in the morning, those show up in the mid-game, and then there's some late-game ones that pop up. So the game can kind of evolve, and it's built to not really snowball over time like some games will do with these combat things. So we have a few more decks here. Yeah, the big showpiece is obviously the clock. They never make these so they're easy to work. There we go. So we have some Banes, blackmail, poison. These are things you can inflict on other people. Some more attacks that characters have. Formula X129. I love the little quotes at the bottom. See, the symbol at the bottom tells you who they go to. 1,000 cuts. I love that one. That one's fun for a few people. Then we've got our utilities, which are not power and sewer or anything like that. I know Monopoly utilities are kind of like that. This is not Monopoly. I don't know if you figured that out yet. We've got coppers, we've got silvers, we've got strategizations. These are things you can spend to gain other stuff. Clout's kind of how you gain power, gain influence, that kind of thing. I believe you spend it in the bazaar. You can see it's kind of, they get bigger as they go along, tied to different characters. And then finally, we've got a few more of those boons. Oh, there we go. Crystal or Hammer, Destined Duel, a lot of hammers. Home by Midnight, Riposte, Briarthorn, you can see. So some of them are generic, some of them go with other characters. But that is Queen by Midnight, 3 to 6 players, about an hour and a half to play. Really interesting game. I think it's going to be a game that's really going to make a point for them. The other races, they've had a bit more storytelling focus, kind of more in line with what you'd expect from Critical Role, as opposed to this, which is a lot more standing out, I think, from what they have done, what they will do, and really a strong debut from Kyle. You can pick it up from their website, from Amazon. It's pretty popular. great for anyone who's looking for a Critical Role gift for a friend or a board gamer, because it just looks great on the shelf and on the table. So that is Queen by Midnight. So until next time, happy gaming.